Welcome back to Call to Learn Grace for the Journey, a space for adults who feel called to grow spiritually, personally, and academically, even in seasons when life already feels full. I'm your host, Tanika, and welcome back to another episode. Over the last few episodes, we've talked about something many people quietly carry, right? The feeling that it might be too late, the moment we almost talk ourselves out of growing, and the confidence gap that shows up when we consider learning again. But today, I want to answer a very simple and honest question. Where do I actually start? And trust me, we all have different starting places, different starting positions. We're in different seasons. However, knowing that you need to grow and knowing how to begin are two very different things. Starting can sometimes feel overwhelming. I went back and forth on it for some time, but not because we lack desire, but because we suddenly see how much there is actually to consider. When I started digging into what schools to go to, the thousands of schools that came up. And then, of course, once you start one search, they all somehow get your information and start sending you emails or text messages or phone calls randomly in the evenings. Where should I study? What should I study? Do I go back to school? How will I manage my time? What about the kids? What if I start and I can't finish? Trust me, all of these things ran through my mind throughout those few months, I should say, considering going back to school before I actually said yes. And before you take a step forward, before you cross that line in the sand, the weight of all those questions can make you pause right in your tracks, make you second guess everything, make you want to turn back, make you not feel confident enough to take that next step, or worse, not start at all. And here's something that I've learned. You don't need all the answers to begin. You only need a starting point. We don't know it all. And we know that the only one who does know it all is God. And God has said that He has already went before us and ordered our steps. We just have to take that step. Growth is not built on perfect planning. I used to always try to have the perfect plan, build the perfect plan, and then I'm going to start. Guess what? A lot of those perfect planning days never took place because a perfect day does not necessarily exist. The only perfect day will be the day that I meet Jesus face to face. It is built on consistent moving. Growth, I should say, is built on consistent moving. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean to what. See, I can hear a lot of you already finishing this scripture. Do not lean on your own understanding. In all of your ways, acknowledge Him. And who? He. Yes, He will make straight your paths. And if you are not familiar with that verse, you can head on over to Proverbs 3 5 through 6 to check it out. But notice it doesn't say that God reveals the entire path first. I know a lot of us, including myself, wish He would, but it says He makes the path straight as you move forward. Clarity often comes after the step, not before it. Now, let me say something that might take the pressure off of you today. You don't need a 5-year plan to actually start growing. Having a 5-year plan is great to have. I go through mine or I update mine every so often, but you don't need it to start your growth. You don't need everything figured out. You don't need to be completely confident. You just need to stop waiting for perfect clarity. Because waiting for clarity often becomes a quiet excuse to stay comfortable. It becomes your way to say, not yet, not now, but you're also not growing. Growth doesn't begin when everything makes sense. I know that's hard to hear, but it begins when you decide to move forward anyway, through it all. Now, if you're wondering where to start, I want to give you something simple. Think in 3 steps, only 3. You know, we do things small over here because small stuff winds up to make big changes. Step 1, get honest about where you are now. What do you feel pulled towards? Is it education? Is God calling you deeper into Himself with spiritual growth? Or is it a skill that you've been putting off or needing to learn? Start there. When it came to my education, I kept finding finding situations either, and I will say I was looking for a new job at that point, and I was wanting to actually find what it was that or grow in what it was that I felt God calling me to, right? But a lot of the positions that I wanted to apply for or that I wanted to go for, they often required a bachelor's degree at the minimum. Some of them even a master's degree. So I began to think about it, and if I really want to take this next step in my career, if I really want to grow, if I really want to not just prove to myself, but show my kids that it's never necessarily too late. Um, I really don't like saying that because there is a too late. The too late is when we're no longer able to do the things, when your body breaks down, when you are called home to glory or wherever you're going after this life. But I felt pulled towards completing my degree. I felt pulled to finish what I started. And even in the midst of that, because I was going to Grace Christian University, or that's where God led me, I was not only growing educationally, but I was also growing spiritually. And then that led me to Greater Works Discipleship Ministries. It's just God has been doing so much in these last few years, but it always started with a pulling. He pulled me towards wanting to finish my degree. He pulled me towards wanting to learn more about him, um, academically and spiritually. And here I am, a bachelor's degree under my belt, a master's degree loading, and Lord willing, maybe a doctorate degree in the next couple years. But it all started with him tugging on me and me answering his call. Now, step two, choose a small entry point. This is not a big leap. I didn't really start big. What I did with mine, I went back to where I fell off at, my associate's degree. I was only one semester away from completing it. So, me taking that small step to finishing what I did not finish before was huge for me. That was huge for me. But for you, a small step, it might be just researching a program. Signing up for one class. I love how Grace Christian University has an introductory course. It's one class, it's free. We do have a resource fee of $150, I believe, and that's just to cover your books and whatnot and to get you situated in the Blackboard atmosphere for online learning. But even for some students, and if you're listening to this and you're being pulled and you want to just check out one free class, comment down the word, let's see, start now. Comment down the word start now, and I will cover your resource free fee for you. Okay? That me and you want to start small. So signing up for one class is a great way to start. Next was joining a study group. I found Greater Works Discipleship Ministries online, and the first class I took with them floored. And it's only one night a week for 2 hours, 3 hours if you want to hang around for the after party. And my life just changed. Having not even just the learning or the teaching, but a community that are hungry to know him deeper and hungry to know him better was amazing. And then your next small step, which is another one that I actually took, was to set aside time to read and learn again. It doesn't have to be an hour a day or 3 hours every day. No, I listen to an audiobook 30 minutes in the evenings during my quiet times. I listen to the Bible read to me during my devotions in the morning. I now have quite a bit of a collection of hardcover and paperback books that are adding to my library because now it's become a habit. Now it's become something bigger than just that fall step, that small step. And small steps, as you see, they reduce your fear, and they actually build momentum. And that's why I haven't slowed down yet. Now, step 3, create a simple rhythm. Growth happens through rhythm, not pressure. So set aside consistent time each week to learn. Even if it's on your weekends, trust me, the more you start to learn, the more you'll want to learn. So even 1 hour can begin to shift your mindset, your confidence, and your direction. One who is faithful in what? Very little is also faithful in much. Faithfulness in small steps leads to larger growth. Now, let me be honest with you. Starting again will not feel perfect. There will be days when you feel so unsure. There will be moments when you question your decision. There will be times when life feels full and growth feels inconsistent. But inconvenience does not mean something is wrong. Sometimes it means something is growing. And God says not to fear these inconveniences. Do not be afraid of trials and tribulations. We should instead rejoice in them. This is where we learn. This is where we grow. This is where we mature. It's so much within these areas. Now, growth looks different once again for every season. For some of you, that next step may be returning to school and pursuing education in a structured way. For others, it may be committing to a deeper discipleship and learning within community. Wherever you are, you don't have to grow alone. And I love to help you discern what that next step looks like for you. If you've been waiting for the perfect moment to start, this is your reminder. You don't need everything figured out. You just need to begin, because growth doesn't start with a perfect plan. It starts with just one willing step. Step across the line in the sand. Until next time, keep learning and keep walking the journey with grace. Stay blessed.